All right. Well, thank you for coming out tonight. It looks like we've got Gianna here. I appreciate you taking the time to join us to discuss the future of Grand Canyon Playlot. Um, there's a lot of potential here. Um, we are a Groundwork studio. I'm a landscape designer, and with me here is Louise Janney, and she is the principal landscape architect for Groundwork Studio. And we're here tonight just to talk about, um, yeah, what the community, how they use the site, and um, what you envision could be a better use for the site and its programming. Um, does anyone from the county want to preface anything about the project and the goals and um, why this has been kicked off?
Yeah, I think I can jump in there just right quick. Just trying to bring everyone to the table, and I think you said it well, Felipe, just wanting to look at the current location and see if we feel like that is a good one or if it's something that we should consider maybe moving and having a different location and just really get the community's feedback on what they would like to see um, as far as a new play lot in the Grand Canyon area.
Cool. Thanks, Wendy. All right, so let's see if this will go to the next slide. There we are. So we've done a bit of a site analysis, just looking at White, White Rock and the various parks that you have in your system currently. So this little map here, hopefully you can see my cursor. Number one is Pinion Park, and then number two is Pinion Elementary. And then these two green dots are kind of our site location for the Grand Canyon Play Lot and our exploration of potentially moving it to a new location. And then number three is Rover Park. Number four is your Overlook Park. So it just gives you context, kind of situating where this play lot is in relation to these other amenities. So you'll notice that it's pretty equidistant right now between the elementary school and Rover Park. It's about a 20-minute walk from to either one of those locations. And yeah, so looking at this bigger map here, letter A, this green dot, is the current location for the play lot. It's accessible by Sure Lane Place, this cul-de-sac here, and this little narrow corridor of a sidewalk that connects you to that space. And then it's also connected by the White Rim Canyon Trail system that connects from Sherwood Boulevard all the way over to Overlook Park. The site's been sitting there for a while. It needs a lot of love, and so that's why we're looking at it now. Um, and then letter B is the potential new location we're looking at for relocating this play lot. And I'll get to some of the reasons in a couple of slides why we're looking at that. So looking closer at the existing play lot, this is just kind of like a photo montage of different perspectives at the site. So looking at number one is the main access from the cul-de-sac, and then letter A and B are these two photos up here showing you the entrance and exit to the site. So you'll notice it's a pretty narrow corridor, and yeah, it's a very interesting condition. As you walk through there, you're kind of looking into either side of the neighbors' yards, so there's not a lot of privacy um, for the user or for the neighbors there. And then as you get to letter C, that's as you really enter the site, and you can see that fence line for the neighbors' properties. And following that fence line is the power lines. So that's something that we noticed when we did our initial site visit was just this kind of lack of privacy, and then also the kind of like dominant feeling that the that fence line and the power lines have. Um, and then as you look at D and E, these are some photos of the existing amenities. So there is a shade structure with the picnic sail, um, with a shade sail and a picnic table. And then the play lot here, or the playground. And you'll notice that that is sand, which is no longer um, an allowed play surface. So we're definitely looking at improving that surface to be more up to today's standards for play safety. Um, what else here? Yeah, so one thing to note about access here is that at the cul-de-sac there is not any parking, and specifically there's no ADA accessibility, and so that's something we're looking at trying to improve. And this specific location that can prove to be quite a challenge just because you've got driveways around this entire cul-de-sac. And so every time there's a driveway, there's a big dip in the sidewalk, which is quite a challenge for ADA improvements. Um, which leads us to potential location for the um, new play lot just down the way. Um, the idea is that it is off of a main road, easily accessible, and it gives us a lot more opportunity to provide that ADA access. It also is just a lot more visible for the community. And another thing we appreciated about this potential location is that if you look at letter A, it has a really nice view of the mountains, and it's set back a bit further away from the fence line and the big um, adjacent houses. So it feels like it could be a good location for a new playground. Um, and it still maintains access to that trail system. And then even at letter D, there's a trail system that goes, I think, a little bit lower into the canyon. Um, and so this provides an opportunity to provide more access to that trail system and also, like improve some of the signage and lean into that aspect of this site. Um, Louise, do you want to add anything? Do you have any thoughts you'd like to add so far?
Oh, I would just say that I think having some parking right near either play equipment, playground, would make it a lot more useful for the community. Um, and yeah, it's just opens up a few more opportunities in the area to have better trail access as well as play. And then we can also have, well, there's a pretty well-established juniper pinon tree community. So there's a nice buffer between the residents to the north, and that could be enhanced a bit, but yeah, we get just more space.
Yeah. And as we move forward, so there's the survey that we'll talk about in a bit, but we're really trying to get a gauge for what the community thinks would be most appropriate in either location. What kind of amenities compared to the other parks around here would be most appropriate that would make this kind of a unique park and asset, whether that's different focus on specific play, like age ranges, some more like toddler or that elementary school, or even leaning more towards like providing like 13-year-old and plus like teenager range equipment. And that would having that info would help us decide how big of a footprint we need in either location, as well as trying to understand what other amenities you might like, whether it's like more of a picnic area or little walking loops. We're really in the visioning stage right now, so we're just trying to get as many ideas and thoughts from the community. And so I guess with that, we can talk about the survey. I'm going to pull it up here on Google real quick just to show you what it looks like. And unfortunately, it looks like I got logged out. Sorry, 1 second. Um, uh, while I log in, is there any questions so far that maybe we can answer while I deal with this little technical snafu?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What is teenage equipment? Like what
Hmm.
is some example?
Sure. Yeah, that could be it could be leaning more towards like fitness equipment. It could be more of like the obstacle course. Some of these play equipment manufacturers are making like Ninja Warrior style courses where it's a bit more of like agility and like running and jumping and kind of like going up and over nets and stuff like that. Um, and then I guess anything else, like if you know a teen, if there's ideas that you all have that you think would be beneficial for teens in your community.
It'll be great to have a place for teenagers to hang out where they're not getting in trouble.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
definitely a big need these days for teens to have a safe place to hang out that, like you said, keeps them out of trouble.
I guess one other kind of thing we talked about a little bit was opportunities for kind of a bike track, BMX, or kind of a, a route in the area that yeah, that the kids could try for getting out on their bikes and doing some jumps and bumps and that kind of thing. So there is space for that if there's a desire in the community, and we think that that would be really attractive, then we could certainly look at incorporating it.
All right. Are you seeing the web page now? Did that work? Hopefully.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I don't know if you
Yeah,
can increase it a little bit.
let's see here. Is that better?
Yes, that's
Okay,
better.
cool. Yeah, so this is our survey. We'll post a link here in the chat shortly. But it's going to walk through a lot of what we just talked about. So some of the site analysis. They'll ask for your opinion on, if we're kind of capturing all the information that, or if there's any other insights that you might have. And then we'll ask you some of your opinions about, are you open to relocating this playground to the new location, or should it really stay in its place? And I'll ask you some information about how you currently use the site, how frequently you use the site, etc. Um, and then at the end of the survey, let me go back a page. We added an additional kind of supplemental survey just to ask more specifically about types of place structures. So the first survey is more about how you use the current space and if you're open to moving it. And then this survey is more about, okay, what kind of play equipment is going to be most valuable for your community. So this one's going to be a lot shorter. It's just going to ask you for your uh, top five activities based on these images above. Once you pick five, you can go to the next, and then we'll ask about like color options. Maybe you want it to be like bright and bold, but maybe you also think that it should be more nature themed, considering its location. Um, One thing that we learned in the past couple of months is that in the past, this actually had a submarine theme to it. I'm still unclear what the exact story and history is behind that, but that equipment got relocated somewhere else. And so one question we're asking is if we should bring back a theme, whether it's submarines or not. Maybe it's more focused on flora, like local flora and fauna. And yeah, you'll see there's some pretty cool things that these play equipment companies are doing these days with creating like really special play structures that are themed. So yeah, really interested to hear from the community what ideas they have for any themes, if any, that kind of are reflective of your community. And yeah, so I'll ask you to pick some color choices and yeah, again, what age group to focus on. And that's pretty much the end of the survey for this one. Yeah, so that's just a quick walkthrough of the kind of questions we're asking, and having that feedback will be really key for us moving into the next stage. So right now we're in the visioning stage, the listening stage, just really trying to gather as much information from the community as we can. And then after that, we get all the survey responses. We can start moving into design and yeah, putting some of these features in space, and we'll come back at a later date with two options, and the community will get to vote on which option they prefer, and then from there we'll combine it into one final design, and we might like pick and choose what works and what doesn't work from each concept into making the strongest design that we can. And yeah, hopefully that all makes sense. If you have any questions, please feel free to shout it out.
Gianna, did you have any additional questions or thoughts?
No, I just wanted to know what this was about, so I think you answered it.
Awesome. And I'm going to post the, if you haven't seen it already, I'm posting the survey in the chat there.
Thank you.
Yeah, please take that and spread the word. Again, this pretty big, you know, decision to make about potentially relocating this Playlot. So we really, really want to get as much community feedback as we can. Yeah, thanks again for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Gianna, do you have kids? Have you been to this Playlot before?
My kids are teens now, but when they
Okay,
were little, we used
cool.
to get out there. Yeah.
Okay, so you have been to this site?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Isolated.
What kind of activities do they like? The outdoor types?
My kids, I have boys, so climbing, anything physical. Yeah.
Sure.
There's a lot of options for that.
Yeah.
They do like bouldering, or more like,
Yep. Just
yeah.
climbing, jumping.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Right
the
on.
best parts, jumping.
I mean, I know there's a lot of like outdoor rock climbing and stuff like that in New Mexico and probably up there. Is there, do you guys have like bouldering gyms in that area? Do you know?
The YMCA has a climbing wall, and
Okay.
there are White Rock particularly has tons of rock climbing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
In fact, people from Santa Fe and Albuquerque come up here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think that like your teens would, do they mostly do that stuff, or do you think they would be like, if there was a feature that had like a dedicated like bouldering wall or something like that, do you think that's something that they would use, or would they just like go find a nice rock to climb?
They will use it. I think the most important thing is shade, because
Mm.
at some point things just get too hot.
Sure. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But something like parkour or something that is very physical. It's definitely appreciated for my boy.
Mm. Cool. Do you happen to you know, some feedback we've gotten so far in terms of relocating the site was people noting the proximity to the elementary school, and I guess I'm wondering if you have any insight into like how accessible the school playground is during non-school hours. Is it like, would it be redundant to have something that close to the elementary school, I guess, is kind of what I'm asking.
If it's different enough, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
And if it's the same thing, it's not,
Okay.
doesn't change.
Cool.
Felipe, as of right now, it's
Yeah.
just a pointer. Pinion School's playgrounds are still under construction and they're still all locked down, but I walked the site week before last, and a lot of them have secured gates around them. And I don't know if they plan to unlock them once the construction's done or not. And I don't know if Wendy has had that conversation with the schools or not, but it's just an observation that I saw last week. Just FYI.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I imagine they would keep it secure during off hours, but never know. So that's still getting built. That's different from like it's different from Pinion Park, right? Like that play. Yeah. Okay.
The Pinion School is adjacent to Pinion Park.
Right.
Okay. Kind of have to walk down the street.
Got it. Cool. Yeah, no, it might be good to try to get information about what types of play equipment is getting installed at the new elementary school. We can balance that. What else? Is there anything else in the county that you need to touch on that you can think of?
No, I think you did a great job. It's good information.
Okay. Thanks, Wendy.
You're welcome.
Well, should we wrap it up? Do we think people are gonna trickle in?
Yeah, we're half an hour in. I would assume probably nobody else is going to join at this point.
Okay.
So we could probably just go ahead and wrap it up for the evening.
Okay. Thanks so much, Gianna, for coming again. And
thank you.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yep.
All right.